it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you for joining me again today, and today I have got this lovely Peekaboo card, I don't know, Peekaboo flip card maybe. I have taken the inspiration from Julie Davison, who's in the States. I will have a link to her website in my associated blog post, which is linked immediately below, so go and have a look at that. She has got some amazing projects, so well worth a visit. She did this with the Walrus set from the annual catalogue. I thought I would feature the little Ladybug from the sale-a-bration brochure. This is the host set that you get if you get together with a bunch of friends and place an order in my online store for £270 or more. This comes free, and you also get your host rewards at 12% and the sale-a-bration rewards, so you can choose lots and lots of free stuff. Anyway, let's get started. I am going to need a piece of scrap-ish paper. Just trying to get a piece that is reasonably scrappish. There we go. Because I am going to need to do some stamping off. All the measurements will be over on my website, and as I say, that is linked immediately below. Do remember, if you don't already subscribe, you can do so just by hitting the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner, and then if you hit the notification bell, you'll get an email when I post. And also, if you like the video, do remember to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. Okay, so we're starting with a piece of Poppy Parade cardstock. This is a half sheet, scored in half and folded. So really easy start. I will have, as I say, measurements over on my website, and that will be for A4 and North American letter size. So it's going to be easy. Right, the first stamp I need is this lovely flower. We're only using one ink pad, and I should add, I'm actually doing this, well, by the time you see this, I will have done this at our team training event. I've been busy this morning putting all the event packs together. So that's just something, yeah, conveyor belt crafting this morning. Anyway, and that's this morning when I filmed this. Obviously, I filmed it in advance. So I'm just inking up my stamp and just stamping down both sides of the card. This is really just to give some background feature because I didn't want it plain. You don't have to do this, and don't worry about this bit in the middle. It's going to be covered up, so you can, you know, do whatever you want in the middle. It'll be fine, so don't worry about filling it, is basically what I am saying. Okay, so let's do this one, but I just thought it looked a little bit plain not having something down the sides, so that's why I've done this. Let's turn that so that it fills quite a lot of that space, and I think just a little bit there. There we go, and I'm really not worried about this because, as I say, I'm going to cover that up. Right, the next bit of stamping, I'm going to pop that to one side for the moment. The next bit of stamping that I'm doing is on one of the stitched squares from the stitched shape dies. It's the second from largest shape, or square rather, just on a piece of Whisper White. And I need, first of all, Hey Lady, and I'm going to pop that in the top right hand corner, and then this is the one I call the Shy Ladybird, because she's walking away and looking over her shoulder, and she's got a slightly worried expression. She looks very much like one of my cats, actually, with that expression. And I'm just stamping this towards the bottom right. You always know when you've inked something well, when the stamp sticks to the paper. Right, the next piece I need is this. This is a square, and it's cut at, I want to say something like, I don't know, not very many centimetres. Anyway, the measurements are over on my website, so let's not worry too much. Although I have got a ruler, so 4.5. That's what I have, and that I'm going to stamp with the flying Ladybird. Ladybird in the UK, Ladybug in the States. But because I'm in the UK, I'm saying Ladybird. And again, you know you've stamped well when the paper sticks to your card. And then the last thing I need to stamp is the Spread Your Wings and Fly. And that's just on a scrap piece, because we're going to be cutting that out. So that's that one. That's all the stamping I need to do. So, colouring. I'm just using 2 blends, and I'm going to switch one out. Bear with me. I had the dark basic black. I'm going to try the light basic black. So this is Poppy Parade. We're using a Poppy Parade card base, so my Ladybugs are going to be Poppy Parade. You could change the colour of the background card and then change the colour of your blends. Real red would work really well, pardon the pun. You could almost get away with lovely lipstick. Not sure about cherry cobbler, but possibly. But yeah, and you may need to change the green so that it doesn't clash too much. The Granny Apple Green and the Poppy Parade, although you wouldn't think of putting them together, they actually work quite well. Because they're both from the Brights collection, they do kind of, in inverted commas, go. So this is just a question of some simple colouring. I love this set. I mean, I was lucky because I am a demonstrator. I was able to buy this during our pre-order period. Although, having said that, I've got a few more coming, because I did put in a reasonable sized order as soon as the catalogue went live. So it's the start of a new quarter and all those sorts of things, so I try to keep my orders so that they sort of hit a quarter, and it means that if I put an order in at the beginning of a quarter that deals with the minimum spend that I need to spend, then I'm a happy girl, and I don't need to worry about the rest of the quarter. So yeah. So I'm hoping that you are enjoying the new January to June mini catalogue. There are some amazing products in there. There was a little bit of a hiccup, I'm told, with one of the poppy stamps. So the one that's actually got the poppies in it. I think I want to say painted poppies. Maybe peaceful poppies. Anyway, that one. It wasn't showing as orderable. I'm hoping that by now it is, because we did know that there were a whole bunch of stamp sets coming into the warehouse. They just haven't got on the system. So this is the light basic black. No, it's not. It's the dark. I meant to pick up the light one. Here's the light one. And all I'm going to do is colour in this back bit here. I did dark basic black on my original, and I just wanted to see what it was like with the light, and I think I prefer the light. But either is fine. And I'm just colouring in those bits. You could colour in the head as well if you want, but as in the Widow's Peak bit. But I'm quite happy with it not being coloured in. Ditto, I'm quite happy with the spots not being coloured in. So that's basically it, apart from I thought it would be fun just to add some Wink of Stella to the spots, just so that they shine. Oh, mustn't miss that one. So there we go. Oops, don't want to do her head, just the spots. Now you could put this all over her wings and then they really would be shiny, shiny, but I thought it would be fun just to do the spots. Need a little bit more there. There we go. Right, okay, so that's those. Now, fussy cutting. I know some of you panic with fussy cutting, so I'm going to do this reasonably slowly. The first thing I'm going to do is cut away the fly, as in the word fly, because I want that separate, and it's not totally straight, so I'm just going to straighten that up. So that's that done. And then for the other words, you can either cut them in one piece or in two. I did one for my original, so I might do two for this just to see what the difference is. And literally I'm just following the sort of space around the words, and you can see I'm moving the words, not the scissors. The scissors are staying put. I'm opening and closing them, but other than that I am not moving the scissors. So I'm not doing all this malarkey with the scissors, I'm just opening and closing them and just feeding the words around so that I can cut them out. So cutting them as two separate pieces is a little fiddly. That was a little harder than when I just did it in one, but that's not to say it's impossible. If I can do it on a camera, you can probably do it in the privacy of your own home. And if you need a little bit of practice, just stamp a few and have a go. It's only a tiny little piece of paper that you're using. It literally is a scrap. So it's, you know, it's worth just giving it a go and seeing if you can get the hang of it. And there we go. So those are our little bits cut out. Get rid of the bits I don't need. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that, and don't need that. Okay, so our Granny Apple Green. This I have already put through the an embossing folder. It's the Layered Leaves embossing folder. It's one of the 3D embossing folders. If you get it in the newer catalogue, you will need the blue embossing plate. If you already have it from previously, then you just use the ordinary sandwich. So all I'm going to do is, with my classic label punch, pop it in as far as it will go vertically, and about 1/2 inch down, 1 1/4 centimetres, or thereabouts, punch. Don't need that. That's just so that we get that gap. And then I have got a piece of So Saffron, 2 pieces apparently, which are 2 inches wide, and can't remember the length. Oh, they're 1/2 a sheet, so yes. Again, the measurements are over on my website, so don't worry about that. I'm going to score at 9 centimetres and 10 centimetres, and then grab my delightfully detailed, delightfully somethingly. It is the delightful tag topper punch, or you could use the scallop tag topper with the longer piece of, so the score lines are here, you want the longer piece straight into your tag topper, and there we go. Really easy, no fussing, that's what we like. Okay, so I'm going to fold this so that, well, that was a rookie mistake. First, change your battery before you do a video. So, having got my tag made, fold it, crease it, pop it into the slot. Doesn't really matter which way round you go, whether you go, because this may not end up completely in the middle. Doesn't actually matter terribly which way you end up. The key thing is to end up there. Square of basic black. I'm just going to attach my Hey Lady Shy Ladybird onto that, just with some liquid adhesive, so the multi-purpose liquid adhesive, which is back in Europe, and we can now order more than 3 bottles if we want. So that's that. I will need this again, but I'll put it away for the moment. Then we need some tear and tape, and all I'm going to do is take my tear and tape and pop it on the or in the gap between the two creases of my little tag. I always like to then use a bone folder to make sure it is absolutely in place, and then take my take your pick tool, the spiky end, peel that off, and get your black piece, and I'm going to take this out for the moment, you're going to line it up so that it is even and right on that edge there. So I'll get that out of the way so that you can see a bit better, but that's right on the edge. And if I turn it over, you can see that I've done a reasonable job of putting it in the middle. And then we can just pop that back in there. So that's fine. Then on this piece, we're going to add our other little ladybird. And the space you're putting it in isn't quite a square, and this is square, but it's so tiny, weeny, teeny bit not square that actually it doesn't show. And then just take your adhesive and pop tiniest amount on the back of your words. The key bits are the ends. So spread your wings, and these can be pretty much however you want them. You could leave it square and cut a piece of card to fit that space, but I do like Julie's idea of not. Spread your wings and fly. So that's that. Don't need that anymore. I do need another piece of tear and tape, and this time I'm going to pop it right on the end of the back side of the tag. And again, I'm going to press that down, peel this off, and then what you want to do is get all of this so that crease this bit, and then line up, just concentrating on the Hey Lady rather than the what's going on behind. Just get that so that it's square in the space, and by square in the space I mean this is not a square, so it's not going to be lining up the same all the way around. You just want it so that it is kind of in the middle, and if you're going to have a bigger space, have the bigger space at the bottom because your eye prefers it. And then push that down and come in with your bone folder and really push that down. And then we've got our mechanism. Okay, grab my garden green textured weave ribbon. Don't need very much of this, about 10 centimetres, that sort of amount, 3 or so inches. Just want a teeny weeny bit, a bit more than that, and then just cut that off. And then, whoops, grab some white baker's twine, just a piece, and tie your ribbon. Now I do a loop round and then tie the two ends. You can do a bow. I'm going to do a knot, because to do a bow on camera when I've already had a problem with the battery running out, so heaven knows what else could go wrong. So just tie a knot and then trim those ends down. I'm shaking like a leaf, it's ridiculous. And then what I like to do is, actually I might get my longer scissors because they're better for cutting ribbon. I'm going to cut one end that way and one end the other way, like that. And then you've got a nice little bit there. And then all we need to do is grab some dimensionals and pop dimensionals on the top and the bottom, which are these two short ends, and then what I like to do is just pop maybe one there, peel the backs off, whoops, and grab my card base, and then this is going to sit as square as you can make it on your card. There we go. Now if you turn it over and you can see the green, just get your snips and trim off anything that's overhanging, so tiny little bit there, just so that it sits nicely. And then there is your little Peekaboo flip card. Now obviously you need to put a lining in because Poppy Parade, not the best colour for writing on, so we can pop, let's see, let's use, actually I know what I'll do. I will grab my scrap of paper again and my flower, and just stamp in the bottom corner, waft, grab some, I was going to say snail, there we are, snail. You can use liquid adhesive. I just prefer using, well, I'd say I prefer using snail for the inside of my card. Actually, it depends on how the mood takes me. Pop that on there. So that's that. Then grab yourself an envelope, and there is the cutest little row of ladybugs, which fit very nicely on the envelope flap. So, and there, let's make some room, shall we? And you can have them going round just going to cover that very last bit there so that I end up with a full ladybug. Otherwise I might have ended up with a little bit of ladybug. And then of course, why not put them on the front as well? And if you really want to go to town, you can grab a scrap. Let me find a scrap. Let's pop that in there. Bottom, just pop it into the bottom of your envelope so that it covers the back of the envelope, or the inside of the envelope if you like. And then you can colour in your ladybugs on the front. And that is it. I would leave the ones on the back because that will bleed through. Take out the scrap, which you can see it's a real scrap. There's some red coming through. That could have gone through to the back of the envelope, which is not a good look. So there we go. So this is the one that I did with the black, the dark black I should say, and this is the one I did with the light black. So this one I fussy cut the words out pretty much across the whole thing. This one I kept the 4 words together. So there you go. There are my Peekaboo flip cards, courtesy of Julie Davison over in the States. Thank you, Julie, for a fantastic idea and a brilliant tutorial. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, I would be thrilled if you give it a thumbs up. Sorry, this is a slightly longer one and I'm going to have to splice it together. Do have a look at all the sale-a-bration joy over on my website, which is linked below. You can get free product just for spending money. If you join my team, then you get even more free stuff. So yeah, take a look. I hope you enjoyed the project and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.